There are certain things said, and there are certain things not said, omitted.
Yeah.
And then to me, a half-truth is a lie. A half-truth will lead you down the wrong path, and here you are thinking that you are going down the right path because of there's that element of truth in it.
Yeah.
But it's not the full truth. And this is where the trap of spirituality comes in. What's going on, my friend? How you doing tonight? And welcome to the show. Sam Cologne here, your host, aka The Messenger. And today is the producer's edition to the episode of Spirituality is a Trap. So bring it on, B.
Yeah.
B, how you doing tonight, brother?
I'm good, my brother. I can't complain. We definitely had to run this one back again, cause I think this is a interesting topic, especially now the season, Christmas, holiday is always filled with this spiritual pull, and it's interesting that you brought that to the conversation today, because it needs to be broken down a certain type of way.
Yeah. And like one of the things that was coming up when we were talking, again, we chop it up after the channeling comes through and the message comes through, we always chop it up afterwards. And there was a lot of meat on the bone when we would chop it up. It's like, you know what, let's just put this on the camera. Let's put this on camera, right? And the first thing that came up is he was talking about how spirituality manipulates people to act in guilt and do things, and they're not really doing it because it's heart-led. They're doing it because they feel shame and guilt if they don't do it, right? And so one of the things that I've seen words being used like righteous guilt, righteous shame, righteous anger. What the fuck? Like what? What are we talking about here? Yeah. Like it's if you're doing anything for me, if you're doing anything for shame, guilt, and that's your motive, where's the spirit in that?
Yeah.
Where's the spirit in that, right? And so we'll talk about how in business it's the same thing. You know, they say, business, no emotions, don't take it personal, and this and that. And it's the same thing. How can you not take it personal? Like your emotions is you're human. Like it's a part of it, right? So let's go a little bit deeper on the fact that like in spiritual, I mean, I've witnessed this myself in spiritual establishments where they use God or spirit to like manipulate people to do things. Yeah. And if you don't do it, then you're not serving God.
Yeah.
Like,
which is weird to me, because it's like if serving God is being of servitude to man, how does manipulating somebody to do something in the eyes or guise of God benefit that person? It's like, I'm not saying this to you for it to benefit you. I'm saying this to you for it to benefit me, but I'm gonna make you feel bad enough that you feel like almost compelled to do it because you don't have no choice. You know what I mean?
I mean, you have the choice.
Yeah.
But what's the opposite of that choice, right? Especially in like spiritual establishments, say religious establishments, it's you're condemned to hell, right?
It's a fact.
Because you're not walking in your purpose of doing God's work, right? So to speak. But to me, I've seen this firsthand, man, where it's like from the pulpit telling people like that people that are really, they're in their mind and they're in their fields and they have not even a dime to their name, scolding them about not tithing. Yeah. And how God's going to look down upon them for that.
You're supposed to bring your first 10%.
Yo, it's like, what? Like some of the people, because I told you I was involved in the church and I was actually the treasurer. Yeah. Right? So like when we had the meetings, I was like, like I felt like I was like the hitman. Cause
Sister Johnson ain't paying.
Bro, yo, for real, exactly, right? So I get a list. Yeah. And I have to like pick them off. Damn. And I literally had to have, I needed a helper because there were so many of them. And I had to like have a helper. I'm like, these 3 before service, these 3 after service.
Yeah.
We'll hit the other people on Wednesday.
Yeah.
Right? And I had to sit down with these people, and a lot of them, like I knew personally. I knew what was going on.
Yeah.
And like in my heart, I'm like, yo, this is not right.
Yeah.
Like these people, instead of us calling them in to be like, yo, you're not tithing, how about we call them in and we say,
Yeah.
are you okay?
Yeah.
Are you okay? Like,
Yeah.
is there anything that we can do to help you?
Facts.
But that is not the case.
Yeah.
Instead, they take the authority that they have
Yeah.
and they try to manipulate to get what they want.
Yeah.
Another thing that I saw was in ministries, right? So there's different ministries. The church, if somebody's willing to volunteer their time to lead a ministry,
Yeah.
why do you now have to also be the one to make sure the funds come in for that ministry?
Yeah. Yeah.
And I've also seen that being used through guilt. Like, well, do a fundraiser, do whatever, go out in the streets, whatever money that you got to get, go get that money
Gotta
so that we can build this ministry.
Facts.
Whoa.
Yeah.
Wait a minute. Like, you know what I'm saying? So, I digress.
Yeah.
Yo, you chop it up. I feel like there's something there.
I say, because like in any spiritual house, the leader, he's the leader of the flock. He's the one she's the one that's supposed to be living by example. If your members are broke, it's not to say that it rests on you to make sure that they're not broke, but putting them more in harm's way doesn't also alleviate them being broke. If I have the empathy to somebody's situation, financial situation, personal situation, life situation, whatever it is, if I have the empathy for it, at some point, I'm not going to push past yes, there's an agenda. We have to make money. We have to bring in money in order to fuel this thing.
100%.
Great. But it can't be on the backs of slave labor, so to speak, where Sister Johnson might only have $50 to pay a light bill or to put enough groceries in the house for the rest of the week. And then the leader of the flock says, hey, you're not really a believer if you're not willing to let go of that last $50. You should have the faith to know that God is going to take care of you because you're taking care of the house of God. How though? You know what I'm saying?
Yo, listen, and here's the thing, right? There's truth to that.
Yeah.
There is, right? Because I can give an example for myself.
Got you.
There was always, when I started the church, I tithed, and my wife was like, she wasn't big on it, right? She's like, what you tithing? What are we doing? Like, what is this? Like, you in church, now you just giving money away? I said, no. I said, babe, I'm doing it because that's what my heart is telling me to do,
Yeah.
right? Like, whatever the church wants to do with them, that doesn't matter.
Yeah.
Like, I'm doing what my heart is telling me to do. And so I got called to actually tithe an amount that was greater than the 10%. That was the income that I wanted to make.
Yeah.
And again, it was heart-led,
Yeah.
spirit-led.
It wasn't guilt.
Like, it wasn't guilt-led.
Yeah.
Exactly. Now, when that type of faith, when you have that sense of knowing and faith,
Facts.
that's a different story.
Facts.
Right? Because now you're being called to do that.
Yeah.
And guess what? I did it. And within 3 months, the income that I said that I wanted to make for the year,
Yeah.
I made it in 3 months.
Fire.
But that's because, again, it was
Yeah.
called. It was Spirit led me to do that.
Yeah, yeah.
Not through guilt.
Yeah.
Not through literally shaming
Yeah.
the people in your congregation
Facts.
because they can't afford to tithe.
Yeah, yeah.
And then the thing is, like, I know it's definitely like the shepherd, the head pastor or minister or bishop, whatever of that house,
Yeah.
is the one who is the leader of the house. But at the same time, that's a taught thing. That's a taught thing. So I was a part of the Assemblies of God when I was going to church, and like in the Assemblies of God, they bring these pastors in regionally to teach them how to get their congregation to tithe. Now, did they have lessons on how to teach their congregation how to thrive
Yeah.
and bring abundance and prosperity into their life? No.
Yeah. I hear you.
You know what I'm saying?
I hear you.
Like, no, but then again, you want them to be able to contribute to the house.
Yeah.
Let's teach them then.
I did see a pastor recently. I say like 2 months ago, and he said that he doesn't believe that a church should demand tithes from the members if you're not also teaching them financial wellness. If you're not teaching them the habits to make good choices with money, how do you have the ability to demand that they bring this to you? How do you even know that they're managing that 10% that they're bringing to the house in an effective way? You know what I mean? Mm. And I thought it was such a profound thing because everybody jokes about going to church and the collection plate being passed around 3 and 4 and 5 times.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like we got a tithe, an offering, and then an offering for the offering, for the offering, for the offering, and then another offering for the offering.
I haven't been in a church that has that many, but I have been where it's 3.
Yes.
And sometimes there are special offerings.
It's a fact.
Depending on if there's a certain ministry in need. You know what I'm saying?
For sure.
Yeah. But yeah, definitely.
Yeah. So it's like I appreciate what spiritual houses are, what they represent. What I don't like is, like you said, that the things that are taught. The thing that got me on my spiritual journey was I was questioning what I was being taught because certain things just it ain't really sit. It's like, is this the man in you or is this the spirit in you? Because if this is the man in you telling me this, how do I even know that it's coming from a sovereign place? Like, how do I know it's even coming from a place of there's compassion in there, there's understanding in there, there's like a certain level of like heart-led.
You feel it
in there.
You feel it.
It's like, dog, you saying this because this ain't that.
Yeah.
It's not what you're making it to be.
It's not.
You know what I mean?
It's a taught behavior.
Facts.
Right? So it's training. Like they get trained a certain way, you know? And like, because you're the head of the house, like you are almost like in a place of like blind faith. Yeah. And like you're paying attention to what the superiors of the organization is telling you to do. And you want to make sure that you're doing what the work that you're supposed to do. So it starts from the top. Yeah. You know, it's not just individual churches. It starts from the top. Yeah. And it's a taught behavior that goes all the way down. Now, I don't want to sound like this episode was meant for just like beating up the church, right? Because that has none. Honestly, we didn't even talk about the church in the last episode
at all.
But this is a part of spirituality. The churches are like one of the biggest here, especially in the United States. You know,
big dog.
Yeah, and so we wouldn't be doing you guys justice if we didn't bring it up, right? Yeah. But the thing that we were talking about before is just spirituality in general.
Facts.
And in general, like the fact that one of the things that we brought up is like the body. Mm-hmm. And so like in spiritual, let's say New Age communities, they say that the body is just a meat suit. Right? Now I said before, there's some truth in that. But this vessel, this body that we have, is housing the divine essence being that you are. Now, so how amazing is this body that people are calling a meat suit in the spiritual community to be able to house this entity, this being that you are, to be able to walk in this realm? What?
Yeah.
Like do you understand the reverence that we should have for this body? But now over here that we have the spiritual community saying that it's just a meat suit.
Yeah. It's going to die when you die.
Like what? Yeah. Like come on. Like it's great. And like for me, from my own personal experience, the more I refine my body, the more I dive into my body, the more I give it the right elements, the right nutrients, the right minerals, the right hydration.
Care.
Yeah, the right care, the right love.
Yeah.
Like really, truly sitting down and loving on yourself.
Facts.
The more I get in tune with energy. Like the more in tune I am with my body, the more in tune I am with everything and everyone around me.
Yeah.
Because I'm becoming familiar with this body and the mechanisms of the body. Like I tell you this all the time. Like this body has technology that we haven't even touched yet.
Yeah.
Because there's things that I'm capable of doing. I'm not gonna go out here and saying in social media like, oh, I could do this. No, but there's things that I'm capable of doing that I couldn't do before.
Yeah.
But the only reason that I can do these things is because I've been able to dive into my body and activate these energy centers
Yeah.
that allow me to do certain things that to other people it's like, oh, that's witchcraft, that's wizardry, that's whatever the hell it is.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? But
Yeah.
but it's not.
It's not.
It's not. It's actually like you can do. Everybody could do it.
It's a fact. It's funny how we always talk about how spirit talks in various languages. It could be in a random commercial you see in the mall somewhere, you walk past and you see something and it resonates. So I've been watching a lot of shows on like warlocks, witches, like the different mediums of spiritual thought or schools of power, if that makes sense. And in this show I was watching, basically it's like these nuns that are, or this sisterhood, and they all have like this special gift of finding truth. They're called truth sayers. So they've been trained to know when you're not telling the truth. They can pick up on the clues. It's insane. But they were talking about the meridian pathways in this show, that if I never spoke to you about this, I would not know that.
Wouldn't it right over your head? Right over your head.
Immediately. And she's like, oh, we're trying to get her to tap into her ancestors, but there's meridians that are blocked. And I was like, wait a minute. Because of course,
Yeah.
rocking with you, I go down the rabbit hole of meridian pathways and seeing how they align very much so with the chakras. And there's a bunch of shit outside of the chakras that you don't even know is there. But it's interesting how a lot of these things are being revealed in the chunks that they're being revealed as truth, as it's not bullshit, as it's not something to play with. It's something to actually dive into, ingest a little bit. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But the spiritual truth of it is there's a lot of shit we don't know.
We don't. Yeah. 100%.
And because we don't know and we have this level of ignorance, these spiritual practitioners, they can run the whole game on us. You feeling like, and don't you know when you, and maybe you gotta. So I get how it can be easily manipulated. The peace kings and the 5%ers and everybody can take a piece of the truth and manipulate it so much that you think it is 100% what it is, and it's not even that. It's some old other not truth part of it.
Yeah.
That we all kind of get inundated to, and then you end up like me at 20-something years old questioning if God even exists after spending 20-something years believing in something.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So I think it's important that the truth of it is exposed in all of its various ways, because we don't know what we don't know. We don't know what we can hear up to a certain point. So they say we can see certain frequencies. So they say we can feel certain frequencies. So they say, but with rocking with you and going down my own places of research, is like, nah, dog, there's something else that's not being said on purpose to keep the general public deaf, dumb, and blind.
Yep, 100%.
You know what I mean?
And there are certain things that are said.
Yeah.
There's certain things that aren't said.
Yeah.
And there's certain things that are said. You know what I'm saying? And so like the parts, and it's like it's crazy, because I was talking to a boy of mine and he's like, Sam, like, you sound like a conspiracy serious guy, right?
Yeah.
When I share certain things. And I'm like, hey, listen, I don't give a fuck about any conspiracy. I really don't, you know?
Facts.
But when I see a spade, I'm gonna call a spade,
That's a
bro.
fact.
Like bro, you don't see it?
Yeah.
Like, if you don't see it, don't call me as conspiracy
Yeah.
theory. I'm trying to help you to realize,
Yeah.
you know what I mean?
I'm trying to open your eyes.
Because it's just in conversation.
Yeah.
Like, we were out for lunch and we are just talking, chopping it up. And certain topic came up and he's like, yo, you sound like a fucking conspiracy theorist guy. What? I'm like, bro, nothing to do with about being conspiracy theorist or nothing like that. It's just there's certain things that I become aware of that when I become aware of it, and if the opportunity comes up in a conversation, I'm going to present that.
Yeah.
You know? And then later on, a couple days later, he hits me up like, yo, that's what you were talking about, bro? Like, it's really
Making
like
some sense.
yeah. It's making sense. It took him 2 days.
It's a 48-hour notice. You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying?
It took him a few days, but he's like,
Yeah.
wait a minute, like that's actually making a lot of sense. And I'm like,
Yeah.
yeah, it's gonna keep on making even more sense.
Yeah.
And you're gonna have the realization that there are certain things said, and there are certain things not said, omitted.
Yeah.
And then to me, a half truth is a lie.
That's a fact.
Like, half truth will lead you down the wrong path, and here you are thinking that you are going down the right path because of there's that element of truth in it.
Yeah.
But it's not the full truth.
Yeah.
And this is where the trap of spirituality comes in. Right? Like, it's like like if you pay attention to all the different spiritual and religion practices that there are out there, and there's a ton, but like I'm talking about the mainstream ones, the ones that are out here have TV shows and freaking podcasts and the whole nine, the books and all. Those are the main ones. Like, you really pay attention to those things. There are things that are said there that when you start to become aware, you're like, bro, that's a half truth.
Yeah.
You leaving out a really big component there.
Yeah.
You know, and there are things that I want to share, like the ego in me wants to share things right now, like this, that.
Yeah.
But I'm not, because that's for people to witness and experience for themselves.
Because even if you say it, even when you say it, it's not gonna be received because there's no reservoir open to get that information.
But they may,
You know what I mean?
some of them may take 48 hours for some of it to trickle in. Right?
Yeah.
but the point, the point is, like, that I don't want to be the one to like plant that seed. It's for you
Understood.
to discover for yourself.
Understood.
But just the fact that I'm mentioning it puts you in a state of awareness. Like, let me start paying attention to what is said and what is not said.
Yeah.
And then let me sit for myself. Like, so you were talking about the truth. What is Truth Sayer?
Yeah.
The show about, like, them knowing if somebody's saying the truth or a lie.
Yeah.
Like, this is something that you will pick up. I know, like, FBI, CIA, they have like their own little things of, like, okay, the eye twitches, they're sweating or whatever.
Yeah.
Like, they have like
They
these,
look to the right.
yeah,
when
yeah.
They said the story.
They have like these things. They think that they have like these little tricks. But if you become one with self, there's this sense of like knowing.
Yeah.
You know when somebody's lying.
Yeah.
And you know when somebody's giving a half truth. Like, you just know.
Yeah.
You don't even have to run it through filters. It's a sense of knowing.
Yeah.
And then the moment that you feel that and you know, now you become aware, and now those filters are on.
Yeah.
Now you're paying attention. Okay, where's the lie? Where's the lie? Oh, there's the lie.
Yeah.
There's the lie.
Gotcha.
You know, but this
Facts.
is not something that's also is not taught either. That's not taught. That's not taught in the spiritual practices.
Yeah.
You know?
I feel like it's always the people that I rock with, like you, my boy, Brick City Buddha. There's a few guys that are in a new version of spiritual awakening, where it's like it's not and or, it's all. It's not separate, it's all. And I appreciate the ideology of you are the light and you are the dark. I get that. What I don't like is there's the good, and then everything that's not good is the devil. So I like the fact that there's more balanced chunks of spiritual information coming out, because there's no omitting. I'm giving you everything, and the everything that I'm giving you is so that you can discern for yourself what it is. It's not me telling you, yes, this is it. Because I feel like, again, back to how I got in there, I feel like a lot of spiritual people take the position of expert and not the position of student. You know what I'm saying? They don't present it like I'm still figuring this shit out too. This is what I figured out so far. And now that I figured out this, it's making me think about all this other shit I didn't think about. As opposed to being like, nah, if you're not doing it this way, it's broken. If you're not seeing it this way, you're not seeing it. If you're not saying it like this, you're not saying it right. You don't have on the right thing. It gets so far away from a forever discovery, and it's almost like a destination. Like you spiritual practice, and then you reach a point where you don't need all that shit no more because you're an expert, and it's just not true. It's just not true at all. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yo, it's so true. I mean, from my opinion, the moment that we get to that point of like what we would call perfection, the world will be perfect. If the world is not perfect, you're not perfect.
It's a fact.
You are, if you are the change that you want to see, dog. Like, and if your reflection of the world is not perfect, then you're not perfect, my guy.
Yeah.
Because your world is the reflection of your inner world.
Yeah.
Right. And so just like in my world, like there are certain things that, not that I get bothered, but when I become aware, I'm like, why is this so prevalent right now?
Yeah.
Why is this so prevalent right
Yeah.
now? What the heck is going on? And so I have to sit with myself and I got to navigate.
Yeah.
Let's navigate. It ain't out here for just because.
Yeah.
No, I'm aware of it, and I'm seeing it real alive right now because that's something inside of me. Right? And so like you said, there are some people that think that the saying was like they're holier than thou type of mentality, and they feel like they've made it.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, you ain't made it. Because if that was the case, we would live in perfection.
Yeah.
Right? And I do believe that there is a state of perfection from the observer that some people may not witness. However, you need to be honest with yourself. You know what I'm saying? And know that you're still evolving. You're still understanding. You're still, trying to, for me, it's more of an integrating this spirit that I am so aware of into this reality, into this realm. And being able to allow that spirit to operate freely without the restrictions that have been put on this mind from the moment it was born.
Yeah.
Right. And so like, that's my journey. Yeah. Right? That's why I'm like just peeling the layers. And that's why, because of that, there are certain things that I can do that may look like, oh, it's magic or hocus pocus, whatever, to other people. But that's because I'm peeling layers.
Yeah.
Peeling, like, everything that was taught from me. I was just talking to my wife, Chris. We were talking about the alphabets, right? The English language.
Yeah.
And we're like, 26 letters and this and that, and this letter makes this sound, and these letters and these sounds create the communication that we're doing right now.
Yeah.
What?
Yeah.
This was taught to us.
Yeah.
If this wasn't taught to us, we would probably be speaking another language. And those languages,
speaking at all.
Or not speaking at all, or creating our own.
True.
Way of communicating.
Yeah.
Right? But we've been taught this way, which seems to be an effective way that allows us to communicate with one another in this particular region, English, right?
Yeah.
In this case, it's English. But what if we take the time to let go of this is the way we're supposed to communicate? What if we take the time to like actually let go of this is the color black? What if we just take the time to like let go of all the stuff that you've been taught and actually sit with yourself and get into that place of nothing? Just blank it out, blank it out, blank it out, blank it out, blank it out. When you start to navigate again the world, it's almost like seeing the world through a new set of lens. And that's, for me, where as a whole, as humanity, we want to be, right? Yeah. Because now, like when it comes to evolving, when it comes to integrating, when it comes to creating new, to expanding into new horizons, we have the capability to do that.
That's a fact.
But how can you have the capabilities to do that if you're stuck in the old patterns and behaviors that you've been taught that this is the only way to be? You can't.
That part. Yeah.
You can't. And you just get a little trickles of somebody recreating something that was already created.
Yeah.
And a lot of people say, oh, there's nothing new under the sun. I disagree.
Yeah.
If you have an open conscience, if you are open-minded and aware individual, and you realize like there's infinite opportunities
It's
out
a fact.
there. There's absolutely new creation to be made here. But if we're operating from our old patterns and behaviors, it's going to be very little spurts of evolution that's
Yeah.
happening with humanity.
True.
But if we take the time, empty the slate. And I'm not saying walking around here blind, deaf, and stupid. No, I'm
Yeah.
not saying that.
Yeah.
But I'm saying no, like, but
I
take
don't know nothing.
but no, internally go through
Yeah.
that process. Like, I don't know nothing. I don't walk around here talking about I don't know.
Yeah.
No, but internally go through that process of like I know nothing, and watch how much wisdom gets revealed.
Yeah.
A lot. And you get ideas, and it's like, what type of technology was that I just saw in my inner world? Like,
Yeah.
what is that? And like, if the collective starts to do that, our leaps and bounds.
Yeah.
And I could feel the energy is there. We just these type of teachings and conversations have to get out more.
Yeah.
And it has to continually. We have to get those ripples out into our creation.
Yeah.
But when that happens, the leaps and bounds that we're gonna have in the next 25 years is gonna be ridiculous.
Yeah.
It's gonna be like, like what? The stuff that we used to watch when we was young, fucking Jetsons and all that stuff. Like we're gonna start
Reality.
seeing. We're gonna
Facts.
start to see more of that stuff. That it happens when we start to like cleanse ourselves and not let ourselves get pulled into those spiritual traps.
Yeah.
The spirituality traps of the spiritual culture that we're living in. And I gave a disclosure in the last video, and I'm gonna say it now. This is not a diss on the spiritual community, not at all.
Yeah.
This is not a diss on the churches or the temples or the mosques. No, this is not a diss on all that. This is more about just sharing for you to be aware of the teachings that are being passed down and put in half truths to manipulate you and to have you operating from a place of shame and guilt versus actually a heart-led, conscious awareness in your decision making in everything that you do.
Facts.
No.
Nah, that's I appreciate you articulating it that way because it's needed. It's like the fluff, the bullshit, the extra, the non-essential, like all that stuff gotta get moved out the way. So when I think about this, I feel like, is it in harmony? I don't know. I don't have the answer because you need both parts for it all to do what it's doing. But then in harmony for what purpose? Is it in harmony for the purpose of the people who are manipulating and we just all playing into it? Or are we evolving to a point where we're moving away from that? We're moving away from the words we use. We don't know what we're saying. We're saying it because we were taught this is what you say to say the shit you say. But who's to say that what we're saying is actually what we're saying? You know what I'm saying?
Oh, I know what you're saying.
Like who's to say that? It's like you said, moving away from it's black, it's this, it's that. So what do you put in that space? Whatever the fuck you want. At some point it's gonna be like, it's like that movie Lucy with Scarlett Johansson. She's living a questionable life with some questionable individuals. She ends up getting trafficked, not like sex traffic or anything, but like a mule for drugs. And being transported, they they put the drug, they opened these people up and they put the drugs in their abdomen. She got beat up and the drugs spilled. It gave her access to 100% of her consciousness. And when she got to that space of like 100% like tapped in, everything changed. It's like you can do whatever you want to do. You just have to know how to manipulate it without being manipulated. And I was just like, it's a cool ass movie to watch because it makes you question exactly what we're talking about. It makes you question spirituality and the efficacy of spirituality. Is it really for us to grow and be enlightened, or is it a trap? Like, is it really somebody who was like, God, and then, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah. You know,
just crazy to me.
I mean, it's an interesting question, but I don't think it started that way.
Got you.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
I think that truly there was a sense of reverence for creation,
Yeah.
and things transpired where there are some that got a little more happy with the amount of knowingness that they had. And they're like, nah, they know all that, then we can't have the ways that we have. Yeah, you get what I'm saying? So
Yeah.
let's just give them a little bit of this.
Yeah.
Just enough.
Yeah.
Just enough. You know? And so like, I don't know when that started, where that started, but you can see it. It's evident.
Yeah.
We get just enough to get you all riled up, get you in your feels, get you in your feel good, get you doing what you need to do, what they need you to do, and then that's it.
Yeah.
That's it. Because for me, let's say we had a church, and the practices that you and I talk about, and the people that I work with that we talk about and we work, and we all come and we meet twice a week for a year in a house of worship, let's say a temple, whatever we want to call it. I guarantee you that everybody's life in there will be transformed. Guarantee you.
Yeah.
But when you go to the churches, you don't see that.
Yeah.
You see maybe 20% of the people in there are living,
Yeah.
like thriving,
Yeah.
like spirit is working through them.
Yeah.
It has something to do with the church. It has to do with those individuals. They have a special connection with the spirit because they surrendered and did their work. The other 80%, more like sheep.
Yeah.
But the shepherd knows that they are like sheep. So your job is to help them, lead them in the right direction. But most of the time, the shepherd is a sheep as well. And a lot of people talk about, the sheep and wolves clothing. How about you have a shepherd that's an actual sheep?
Yeah.
And not that he's a wolf or she's a wolf.
It's a sheep.
It's a sheep.
Clothing. Damn. That's good.
Yeah.
That's good.
And to me, that is the issue.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like you need a very conscious individual leader that's not answering to other higher institution, but source.
Yeah.
Now that individual, just like those other 20% in churches that are actually thriving,
Yeah.
most of them, I was one of them.
Yeah.
I didn't care what anybody said. I didn't care. I was there because Spirit was leading me. When I got up to pray, I didn't ask permission to pray for somebody.
Yeah.
Spirit told me, get up over there, lay hands and pray for that person. Sure, you better believe it, I'm doing it because I know the work that was done inside of me.
Yeah.
And guess what? It was evident because all I had to do is just,
Yeah.
person's like, duh, like Spirit is working through them. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
They don't know who's behind them. They don't know it's me touching them.
Yeah.
All they do is they feel Spirit there. You know what I'm saying? And so like, the leaders of the house need to stop being sheep.
Yeah.
And they need to start being the leaders of the house.
Fact.
Because the truth is that most of the people have been programmed for so long through their lineage that they operate like sheeps. And that part of the mechanism of that self-awareness of self-authority is not there.
Yeah.
It's not there. And then the other 20% that do have it, they have to work through it because then they'll call the rebellious ones.
Yeah.
Or you have a rebellious spirit.
Yeah.
And I remember being up the day that I got baptized. Right from when I'm giving my speech, and I'm like, yes, I got baptized, and I'm gonna tell you right now that rebellious spirit that you guys talk about all the time is still here. Like it's still here, right? And and that was like a breath of fresh air for the congregation.
Yeah.
Like you keep it real, right? It's still there. And why is it still there? Because that part of us is the part that causes the fuel to go discover. Like I'm not saying be out here rebellious. Like, no, that's
Yeah.
not. That's not. I don't want you to
For
use that.
rebellious
You know what I'm saying?
sake.
To
Yeah,
rebellious sake. No.
Yeah.
But what I'm saying is that part of you will start to like it'll increase the amount of like wanting to go find out for yourself.
Yeah.
I'm not gonna do this just because you said to do it.
Hell no.
No, I want to find that for myself. What does
Yeah.
I got to do?
Yeah.
Okay. All right, cool. Let me go do this on my own. Let me feel this thing that you call spirit.
Yeah.
What is it that you do? You do that? Okay. Let me go feel this for myself.
Yeah.
You know, not just do it just because you said, "Oh, you spirit's on you." Like,
Yeah. What spirit?
what are you talking about? I don't feel it. But if you actually guide in the right way and then suggest, one of the main things that I love doing is suggesting or recommending.
Yeah.
Don't tell nobody nothing. I don't want to be told nothing.
Yeah.
I don't want nobody, oh, you need to. No, I don't want that.
Yeah.
I don't operate like that. But if somebody suggests something to me that piques my curiosity,
Yeah.
you better believe I'm going to go find out.
Yeah. You gonna look into it.
Yeah, I'm going to
For
look
sure.
into it. And then that looking in is a process of self-discovery. But again, most people are not like that.
Yeah.
Like, I didn't do well in school, and that's because of the way I'm wired.
Yeah.
Like, you do this, do that, because I'm telling you, if you don't explain to me why I'm doing this, I'm not going to do
Not
it.
doing it. Yeah.
And that's why I didn't do well in school. But for the majority of the kids in school, they do well. So that's why when you go to school, like, it's like an 80-20 thing.
Yeah.
Like 80% of the students do well. It's the other 20% that don't do well.
It's a fact.
You know, and out of those 20%, 10 of them are the ones that become entrepreneurs.
It's a fact.
You know what I'm saying? Because they just get, no, you're not going to just tell me.
Yeah.
Like, show me.
Yeah.
Like, show me, give me an example, and now let me go discover for myself and let me figure this out. And I think like it's called, people call this in the self-development where they call it critical thinking.
Yeah.
And this element of critical thinking has been taken from the people. And this is why I believe like 80% of the people and congregations are sheep. They don't have the capability to think to themselves unless they have a true shepherd that's guiding them and teaching them to learn how to think for themselves.
It'd be tough, especially when most people got jobs. Most people are. The system works perfect. The school system teaches us how to be sheep. These spiritual systems teach us how to be sheep. The political systems teach us how to be sheep. It's like we're being taught how to be sheep in abundance. Like
Word.
in abundance.
Word, 100%, yeah.
You want to be a sheep? Listen, man, come down to our sheep learning classes. Every day we here. We at your school, we at your job, we at your church, we at your mosque. Like, pull up.
100%. We're
You know
in
what
your
I'm saying?
TV, we're in your radio, we're in your phone. We're everywhere.
Every blood clot with
Everywhere.
Yeah.
We're in your advertising.
facts.
We're in the back of the box of your freaking,
Facts.
your wipes. Like,
Facts.
it's everywhere.
It's crazy. And I know I'm seeing the wake up happening. Like this whole thing with Kellogg's. You see what's happening with
I
Kellogg's?
have no idea. I barely watch the news, bro.
So this is like Instagram stuff
Okay.
where Kellogg's has been, they have a class action suit against them because of the dyes and artificial things that they put in the food, where they manufacture all of the stuff here and then send it to other countries without all of the extra chemicals and food dyes and artificial shit in it. There's a whole group of moms that marched on Kellogg's and was like, nah, shut this shit down because we're finding out the truth behind the lie. Kids love bright cereal, but you're also not saying that those bright colors are causing all kinds of cognition problems for kids in school. It's messing up the hormonal balance.
100%. Yep.
So if we're being manipulated at the ready with everything, what we see, what we hear, what we eat, all of this stuff, at some point, who we really are has to come into question. Like, who are we really if we're inundated with all of these things to manipulate us to do and think and be?
Bingo. Why are they going through so much trouble? Why are they going through so much trouble?
Yeah.
And then like another trap, which we talked about a little bit, was the consumerism. But let's just say money. So people try to say that the manipulation is happening because of money. That's another lie.
Yeah.
That's another lie. It seems like a viable truth.
Yeah.
Like the pharmaceuticals are just doing this because of the money.
Yeah.
No, they're not. No, they're not. They doing that to keep you under control. The money is just a side effect. It's an added benefit. Like we keep them suppressed, and we get our pockets fat. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And then in this society that we've structured this way, where money rules, we're ruling,
Yeah.
and we got. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. Facts.
So yeah, man. I don't want to keep on like going all through all these different angles because
Yeah.
we could be here all night on this.
We can be, for sure.
Like because it's that serious, right?
Yeah.
And I know that last nugget is probably gonna have a couple people. It's gonna take them 48 hours to be like, wait a minute, it's not about the money. Then what is it?
What are we doing it for? Yeah. It gotta be about the money.
Yeah, but it's about you, my friends. It's about you and who you really are and who we all are as a collective. And when you have that realization and have that sense of knowing, then you're going to see everything for what it is. B, do you got any final words before we jump off?
Nah, man. I'm good. Yeah, I'm good.
Feel complete?
Yeah, I feel complete.
All right. Awesome. I saw your eyes light up at the end like, oh.
What you said, bro, that shit is, I'm reflecting on that. And what places am I not being aware enough? You know what I'm saying? Or where I can heighten my awareness enough to really start to see past certain things. You know what I mean? Feelings is a trap. You gotta feel it. Because if you don't feel it, it's not real. But your feelings aren't really dictated off of anything that's necessarily
real.
You get what I'm saying?
100%.
So it'd be like it's making me really examine myself and really examine what I'm thinking, why I'm thinking, where I'm thinking, what I'm feeling, where I'm feeling, why I'm feeling. You know what I mean? Because I don't want to continue to be blind and say that I can see. So, yeah.
That's so good. Well, this was a great episode. I know it's been a while since me and B chopped it up and done a producer's edition, but this definitely was called for. I hope you guys enjoyed it. And if you like this episode, like, comment, subscribe, share, all that good stuff. And let's get the word out, guys. Right now in the channel, the channel's growing nicely. It's beautiful. I mean, we've been doing this maybe, I think going on, 6-7 months now, B?
What, this?
The channel? Yeah.
Yeah,
About 6-7 months. We have a good following right now. We have about 11,000, but I know that what we're sharing is powerful. And I would love you guys' help to get this out. Like, truly get this out. Share this, get it out. And if you have any comments, any feedback, come on here. And for all you, you trolls watching this and commenting the bullshit that sometimes you guys comment, you can kiss my ass. Because I'm not doing this for you, man. Yeah. I'm doing this for my brothers and sisters out there that are actually searching for themselves. This is who I do it for, right? And I'm sending you guys so much love. I love you all. Much love, much peace, much abundance, much strength. Everything and anything that you need, sending your way. And remember, I am you, you are me, and we are one. Until next time.